Morning all, how are we all doing? Everybody good? One sec. Am I missing that? That's right. I was just trying to think. I've something I've forgotten to do this morning. I couldn't remember what it was. And it was get the chat window out. Senior moment. How are we doing? Morning, Christian, Ian, Steve, Yoko, Monkey, Alistair, Baggy, Amy. I might as well record this bit, and just just replay this in the morning, so I don't have to go through it myself and not waste my voice, but use my valuable voice. Morning, Rico, Virginia, Igosa, Gregors, FTNet. How are we all doing? Got a bit of news to go through today, and we've got loads of banking to do, which is always good. So to start off with the news. So it's Tuesday. Yesterday was a no news day. Today is also pretty much a no news day. We got retail sales for the Australian dollar, which came out this morning, quite big and bad and negative. We've got the Spanish CPI coming out this morning at 8 o'clock. Bang on the open. Might be an interesting open, we'll see. But I'm not sure about that one. We've got consumer confidence this afternoon and jolts for the US, which is half an hour after market open. So that's today's news. There's not a lot. That doesn't tend to do a lot. Sometimes it does, but most of the time it doesn't make a lot of difference. It's a little bit like the University of Michigan, except they do actually pay attention to the Michigan numbers. Job openings is kind of a measure of, they use it as a measure of economic growth. It's not really a leading indicator. So not a lot really to look at today. The main news coming up is all tomorrow. So it all kicks off tomorrow with just an absolute flood of news tomorrow. So today could be rotational. They may put some speculative moves on the Aussie and New Zealand pairs ahead of the Australian CPI today. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Morning, Evans, Gav, JC. So overnight, we had last night, the US indices went nuts. I lost a bucket load yesterday. I've wiped out the entire month's profit, which I'll look at in a minute. But it was a stupid mistake. But this is what caused it. Was not expecting this to come through at all. The market completely overreacted to this. As you can see, it's basically the Treasury borrowing forecast for the first quarter. Borrowing is down. The US dollar had a small drop on it. As you can see, a couple of hours of down, but not, catastrophic. If you measure that on a respective ADR, it dropped less than an ADR in 6 hours. So it's not, it wasn't a massive thing. But the US indices decided to go totally mental. We had a massive rally on the US. Parabolic for 2 hours, properly parabolic for 2 hours. It went absolutely nowhere for the entire session and then just put in like 3/4 of an ADR in an hour. So I got caught on the wrong side of it. I'd just taken off the long positions. So I'll go through that in a minute anyway. But yeah, wiped out the month yesterday, and not through particularly my fault. My planned exit is playing out perfectly. However, I got margin called. So that's why I took the loss yesterday, because they shut my trades. So I shan't be trading with Darwin X anymore. Not because I got margin called. It's absolutely fine. No problem with getting margin called. Should have been margin called. But realization 1 to 30 is not enough to trade the indices. So not with the SIH anyway. So I'm going to have to go back to another broker. But my plan was to get out, and the plan's working this morning, which is what I was expecting. I was expecting a drop this morning, and we're getting it. So it's just annoying. But anyway. So that happened last night. Don't think we're going to get much of a fallout off of that today. So it will probably undo that move. But obviously, because we've got FOMC tomorrow, it's unlikely we're going to get a large move off the back of it. And they want to wait and see what happens tomorrow. So the Treasury borrowing basically is going to impact the FOMC statement tomorrow. So we'll see what happens there. Other news overnight, not masses. We've had Japanese unemployment. We've had Australian retail, which came out a lot worse than they expected it to. The unemployment rate in Japan has dropped, which is good. So it's bullish yen. We've had a bit of a move on the yen during Asia, which we'll look at in a minute, which is all good. Apart from that, that's pretty much it for the overnight news. We've got 4 minutes to the open. So, yeah, might be a bit of a whippy day today, but we'll see what happens. So I need to do some banking this morning. So pound New Zealand, got 0.75% on that. So let's close that out. It's on its way to target, basically, which is propulsion gap, but I'm going to get out of it because I want to bank it. So there we go. Out in 4, sorry. Pound yen, my friend. Pound yen, love you. Right. Closing that aggressive drawdown control position brings me up to 3.5%. So need to do some DD control. 1700. Got 4332. Let's get rid of. I'm going to get rid of size rather than. So I'm going to get rid of. That one completely. Of that 1.15 brings me down to one lot short, and we're targeted within ADR. That'll do. So move my TPs down. So there you go. So nice aggressive drawdown control. Perfect example of aggressive drawdown control working. So use that aggressive drawdown control to get rid of everything below the line, which basically brings the average back up and banks kind of cash. So everything else is fine there. New Zealand, US, I could bank as well, couldn't I? Market's about to open. Oh, up at that double top again. And it has rejected it. Keep an eye on this one this morning. Right, let's look at the DAX quickly. So DAX yesterday, we had an up day. FTSE yesterday, we had a sideways day. It is an up day, but ever so slight. So this morning, basically, markets dropping in the UK, rallying in Germany. So we'll see where we go. But at the minute, we are still kind of ever so slightly bullish on the DAX, but not really. Oh, blimey. What the hell happened there? Did you see that gap down on the DAX, on the FTSE? Did I get both positions on that? I think I might have only got one position on that. Well, that was weird. We gapped. Ooh. Hang on, sorry. I need to look at this. I'm hedged. I've got an uneven hedge on. That was weird. Price action this morning. Okay, so I've got an uneven hedge on, which is fine. If it breaks short, that's no problem. If it goes long, it's no problem because I've got two longs on and one short at the moment. That was really quick this morning. We basically closed at the low and then it flushed down within milliseconds and then popped straight back up again. So it only managed to trigger one order. And as it put the second order on, it was below price. So it's put a limit order on. So hedged on that. That was a very tight open, very, very quick move. See what happens with that one. One sec. So hedge obviously on this one straight away. I'm not going to put any targets in place. I'm just going to leave it at 5R at the moment, which is ADR today to the downside. Just see what the how price action unfolds. ADR TP to 5R to the upside is within ADR, so I'm just going to leave those in place for the minute. So we are long. This is a fortunate mistake because I've got 2 longs on and 1 short. So if it breaks long, it's actually going to make a profit. DAX is looking like it wants to go short at the moment, but no break on that yet. Okay, short on the DAX. Interesting open. Bit of volatility today. Morning, John. Morning, Mumo. Morning, whoever I haven't said hello to. Evil Mark, Kennelly, Peter, can't remember. Sam, was it rigged? What rigged? This is the markets. Everything's rigged. It's all rigged. Remember, what is the indicator that draws the line from when you open a position towards the closing point? What that puts your trades on the chart? That's the support resistance propulsion indicator. Part of that. It's kind of support resistance propulsion is kind of like a utility indicator, which is kind of I built it as an amalgamation of all the other stuff that I need on the chart. So it plots your trades. There are indicators out there that do that for you. You can find some free ones out there that plot trades. And also, if you just want to do it manually, you can drag your trades onto the chart. So just drag them from your account history onto the chart and it will plot the trade. So you can do it all manually. 76 watching, 17 likes, 80 watching. I better be more than 17 likes by the time I get to the stream, people. $21. Let me refresh. 29, that's better. Still need 40. At least half of you need to like me for me to even want to continue doing this. 33. That's near getting there. Thank you very much. Morning, Sarah. Morning, Brian. Morning, Dougal. Dougal's back. Look, he came back for a second day. Good man. Morning, it's time. Don't be a bum. Smack that thumb. I like it. Thank you, Gregors. Don't be a bum. Smack that thumb. That's my new saying. I like that. I won't have remembered it tomorrow. But anyway. So I just need to close some more stuff out. I'm going to take... I'm going to take New Zealand US off. Reason being, last time I took half of it off there, I regretted it for 4 days. If I do the same again, I get a feeling we're going to regret it for 4 days. So I'm just flat New Zealand US. That trade was from back here, and it just basically went into accumulation for 2 weeks. So out with 0.2%. Can't be arsed with it. So 2.2 on the day, 8.3 on the month. Okay, DAX pulls back inside the pre-market range. See where that goes. Just need to bank some more over here. So pound New Zealand, same on ADR reversals, closing that. Out flat. 0.81. New Zealand dollar, US dollar, same trade basically because it's pretty much the same thing. Closing that. Can't be bothered with it anymore. It's all closed. Euro CAD. Everything else is fine there. Going to keep an eye on my Aussie New Zealand this morning. If that gets up to sort of 1/4 to 1/2%, i.e. we get down into this sort of area, I will probably take this one off as well because obviously we've got Australian CPI tomorrow morning. What I don't want is that CPI figure to rally the Aussie. So if I can get this into a decent amount of profit. Also, if this is just sitting around here end of day, I will close that out, bank that. Then obviously if it does come down, that's fine. These two come into profit. If it goes back up, I can add that position back on again. So I will close out Aussie profit. Pound yen is still running down. I'm going to let that run on the ADR reversals because it's only 0.5% in drawdown. Hedge. Pan New Zealand. On it. There we go. Flat. Anybody in Telegram fancy answering a question about the RSI that I answer about 1,000 times is fully stated in the video about the indicator and in the manual, but anyway, they still don't get it. If you want to answer that question, feel free. Otherwise, I'll do it later. New Zealand dollar Swiss. God, look at this New Zealand dollar Swiss. Isn't this the dreamiest month ever? Look. Short. Out. Long. Out. Short. Out. Long. Out. Long. Out. Long. Shall I? 100% strike rate. The trendline junkies basically are going to short this today, aren't they? So it's a small amount of profit, but I might as well take it. Got again. Gonna let that run. Everything else is fine. There you go. So 9% on hedging. 16 on ADR reversals, absolutely killed it this month. And 8 on H1M5. Short break on the DAX is underway. So TP1 to the downside is just around that high. So we need to watch this level, this last week's high, basically, potentially for some limit order bounces. We're just coming up to it now here. So just watch this area. We might get people rebuying last week's high. FTSE looks like it's about to break short as well. So FTSE downside target, obviously you've got this low coming up, which is yesterday's low, and it's the previous day's sort of pause point before the New York session, which they didn't really do anything from. So we know there's not a massive amount of buyers in this area, so it might be able to scream straight through that. Downside risk today on the FTSE is if we break this low, there is absolutely no resistance until we get to, or support until we get to 150 ADR today. This is a clean 2 hours straight up. There is no selling in this area at all. So if we break this low, potentially this has got the legs to drop 150 ADR today. So need to be a little careful of that one today. DAX coming into that low there. There's no ADRs to look at today, no weeklies, so can skip that. RSIs, we've got a few to look at, so we'll go for those in a sec. Just want to see what this DAX does. There we go. So the limit order's bouncing off the high of the week. See if we can get through that level. Go buying, 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 buying. See if we can get enough sellers on board today to crack that level. If we do, we'll get a pop, which will probably get us straight to target if we can get through it. Thinking about it. Looks like they might be buying it up. Okay, got the second half of the hedge on the FTSE, so that's good. So that's even now. So they're buying the previous week's low at the moment. Come on. Still got 2 minutes left on this candle, so we'll see where we go. Getting stuck there. Look. So these levels, these weekly levels, basically, when we get through a weekly level, there's always limit orders to sell at the weekly high. There's always limit buys at the weekly low. When you get through those levels, it's deemed that is no longer valid. So anybody that was a limit order short there will tend to flip into a limit order long because we've broken that level. Therefore, you buy from that level. So you get resistance and support at these levels, which, as you can see, tends to act as an iceberg or a brick wall. And it all depends whether there is enough selling pressure when you get back to those levels to overpower those limits, which will automatically obviously trigger at that level. They either will or they won't. If they do, you usually get a little pop as all the limits sitting there will flip short as you get back through the level. So the banks use them basically to determine whether they should be long or should be short. Come on, make your mind up. A little sell came in on the FTSE there. Okay, so we are looking like we might get through that level, which is good. Come on, it's not popping though, is it? Okay, approaching 2R. Just going to close out that short. I'm not very convinced by that. I was expecting a bit of a pop, but didn't get it. So just in case this is unable to get through, because we haven't yet. Just going to take that one off, just bank a little bit. Right, let's look at RSIs. So obviously banked quite a lot today. There's quite a lot still running from the previous RSI extensions. No ADRs obviously today. So let's start off with the euros, which is most of it because we had quite a big drop on the euro yesterday. So euro odd extended on the 4-hour, tapped straight into the open of last week and bounced straight off of that. There you go. This is a perfect example. Look, exactly what I was just talking about. Yeah. So that's where we opened. We did nothing but buy for the entire week. Limit orders are protecting that area. So the buyers that are buying at the moment don't want price to go back down below that area. So there's limit orders or iceberg orders set at that level to try and keep price above that level. If that fails, they will flip short and they will become sellers along with everybody else that's driving price back down through that weekly level. So weekly highs, weekly lows, monthly highs, monthly lows always have lots of orders sitting at them. So that's down below the 30 level. So good area to start buying, but you've missed it. So your entry was this morning, actually not long ago, 15 minutes ago. 15 minutes, you probably just got the reversal alert literally on that candle 2 minutes ago. That's just triggered an alert. So long opportunity euro odd. Bear in mind any Australian dollars you get into today. We've got the Aussie dollar CPI coming out tomorrow or overnight tonight. So be careful on that one. Am I hedged on the DAX? No. Short. Short only. So that's euro odd. That's a 4-hour. Euro CAD is an hourly and a 4-hour extension. So you're extended down below your 25 on the 4-hour. So that's a really nice, big, strong extension to the downside. We've got a bit of a gap there, look, on the swap. So first long order just gone in on that one this morning. Literally just gone in long on that one. So I'll put a TP on that. So that's your 4-hour RSI extension, extended on the hourly. I mean, that's a nice, easy target to hit within ADR. Not a lot of money. I'm going to go for a slightly higher target and just see if we can get a big run. We might get some US movement today, which will rally the CAD as well. But yeah, I mean, you got basically just a flag break there. So that entire move there is due a pullback. So it could easily get to there. 50% retracement is going to be up there somewhere. So that propulsion gap's a good target. Also, you're looking at that area there, which is a weekly level. Again, weekly levels, very, very reliable. Bounce out of that. So that's a 4-hour, that's a 1-hour extension on beyond the 75.25, which is where I take mine. Euro Swiss extended on the 4-hour, big move on that one. So this is a solid move. We've got 160 pips, so that's 4, 8, 12, nearly 4 ADR straight down over last week and the beginning of this week. So huge extension, again, weekly low, weekly limits triggering. So really nice, good extension there. Looking for a pullback on that one. I'm already in this with 2. Because I got in on the H1 RSI extension last week. We just had 2 more down days. So second entry gone in on that one yesterday. Average is there. Target will be that propulsion gap there. Whoops. So that's Euro Swiss. That's a 4-hour RSI extension. So if you're taking H4 M15 or H4 M5, your extended condition now. So you're waiting for a 15-minute reverse alert, which you've just got. Euro New Zealand. FTSE's going nowhere today. Euro New Zealand, bit of a, it's extended on the 4-hour and it's also extended on the hourly. Bit of an uneven kind of drop on this. So that is probably the profit take move off of that leg, I would say. So you're looking for a push probably up into here. So it's not got an awful lot of room on it. Could go a lot higher, obviously, but it's extended on the hourly as well, just about. So you got 2 areas of potential resistance coming up. So that accumulation there, which we broke down through. So that propulsion gap to the upside is the initial target, which could well act as resistance. Failing that, it's this propulsion gap here, which is this support break there, which is a 50% retracement on that leg. So up to there or there on that one, that's sort of 125 ADR roughly. Pound CAD I should be in, or will be getting into today when we get a reversal alert. So I'll be taking that reversal alert there when we get it. Because we are now extended below the 25 level there. Target back up into propulsion. So up there. Pound's really weak at the moment though, as you can see. But yeah, nice extension there. So looking for a pullback, probably on the entire leg. So that should be easily achievable. That's sort of somewhere between a 50-38 retracement. So that'd be nice and a nice little profit. And pound New Zealand, which I've just got out of. That's just extended, not quite enough for me to get into a long. But if it does push down to the origin of that move that we had, which is the propulsion gap target that I had, which I'm not brave enough to hold because it's profit and just take it. If we get down to there, that will probably take me down to a long, which will then get out up into there. So there's your RSIs. DAX not really going anywhere either now. So this area here, obviously, they're trying very hard to hold this level. So if we do get through it, we've got a fairly nice opportunity for a flush today. There's a couple of little areas coming up. That one specifically. So that high there, which is the gap fill from the previous day. Basically, we pushed into that level, support. So that is an area I suspect we'll probably get some buying out of. Failing that, we're coming back down into this gap. So lots of room to the downside today if it can get through this accumulation, which is obviously before that news came out yesterday, which rallied the crap out of it. Speaking of that, so basically yesterday on the NASDAQ and the S&P, so and the Dow. So I got slaughtered yesterday. Looking at this is the exact plan to get out that I had. Really annoying. So got hedged yesterday. Can't see it behind my head. So I got hedged yesterday on this one, and it went absolutely nowhere all day. We then pushed up into this area here, and we started to reject. We pushed up again, started to reject, went sideways. So basically, I decided to take the buys off because we were going nowhere. It was getting towards the end of the session, and I was expecting, it to do kind of the same thing. We'd basically done, I think it was one R we'd moved on the NASDAQ the whole day. So I got out. It pushed up ever so slightly, and then it pushed down. Nice big bear move. Triggered my short entry. Fantastic. Yeah, and then that news hit, and that happened. So this hit ADR. So ADR on this is 230. We got to 196 roughly. Thought that had hit ADR. Yeah, it had hit ADR. Sorry, that's the entry there. So it basically hit ADR. I think got to 125 ADR. So here is where I basically was going to take a second position, a third short, basically to play the pullback. So I put limit orders in. The limit orders didn't trigger because there was no margin available. So first problem, wasn't able to get the size on. And this is the problem we have with position trading. When people say they're position trading with a 1 to 30 account, you can't do it because you will try to take an extra position and it will go, no, sorry, no margin available. You are then stuck. There is nothing you can do to change your price. You have got to pray and hope that that thing comes back. It doesn't work that way. So didn't get the margin. Didn't have the margin, so couldn't get the short on. Same story on the Dow, same story on the S&P. I was stuck. I could do nothing about it. And then it pushed back up. And because all three positions were hedged and all three positions then only had shorts on, ran out of margin. So all my positions closed out. So the plan was to get in with shorts there and play a pullback down to here, which would have exited me with around about 3 to 4% loss across all the positions, which is basically what is playing out today, which is what the plan was, to get the pullback today, which I suspect will probably happen. but couldn't do anything about it. So yeah, lost 8% yesterday across the account. Luckily, I'd made 8% on the other DOW and X account. So basically all I've done is I've cancelled out the entire month's profit. So I was up 12% yesterday, lost it. So stupid mistake, but I was kind of expecting at some point this to happen, because you just don't have enough margin. See at the Dow, look, took the longs off there on the Dow, got margin called on the short. So you know the entry there, the second short would have been in profit this morning. Wouldn't have been enough to get me out yet. That's where I was. You can see my TPs. Look, it's just that's where it was expected to go, but margin called. So lesson learned: do not trade 1 to 30 if you're going to use all indices. Individual indices, not a problem. Maybe 2, not a problem. 3, can't do it. If you get into a squeeze, that is. So there's nothing you can do about it. But yeah, I was kind of expecting it to come because I've been close to. I said last week, didn't I? I got very close to margin call. I was 98% last week on a triple hedge day. I got out of it, no problem, 0.5%. You know, it's what we do. But that was just a little bit too far. That move was really unexpected, obviously. There was no news planned, and it was just the market totally overreacted to that borrowing forecast. So yeah. So I'm going to be transferring out of DOW and X, and I'm going to have to go back into Robo. I did try out Vantage Markets as well as another alternative broker, but I think I'm just going to the execution advantage was pretty similar to Robo, so I don't see any point in using Vantage over Robo, because Robo I've got an account with. I've got not all my money, but vast majority of my money in there already, so I might as well just use that. So, but yeah, unexpected move that was yesterday on those indices, but never mind. It happens. Thankfully, I've done 25%. Actually, I've done more than that now. 37% on the position trading accounts this month. So I don't care. Well, I do care, but I don't care as much as if I was having a bad month on position trading. Strike rate. Don't know what you mean, Mume. My broker, I'm straggling place pending orders. I'll write them an email. That's promising this morning. If you've got a broker where you're struggling to place pending orders, change broker. All you can do, really. Yes, notice how restricting the margin issue was with my prop challenge. Yeah, if you're using a prop evaluation that uses 1 to 30, you will get stuck. So nothing you can do about that. This is why I moved away from Darwinex for position trading, because obviously there's not enough margin to do it. So, and it's close on hedging. With ORB, it's not a problem. If you're trading ORB, obviously you're using stops, so it's not a problem because you've never got enough volume on to get anywhere near a margin call, unless you're risking obviously very high percentages. But this is, you know, I'm risking 0.25% here per instrument, and I'm getting margin called on a 0.75% risk, which it wasn't yesterday because I had 3 shorts on. Well, I tried to get 3 shorts on. I had 2 shorts on. I couldn't get the third on because I had no margin. So annoying, but never mind. These things happen. On the other hand, it's good that they margin called me and closed the positions, because if it had have gone further, obviously I would have wanted that to happen. But as it happens, what I was expecting to play out played out, and it started to pull back. It's just annoying. FTSE's driving up to 2R. So FTSE, we want to watch upside. We've got this high here. which is pretty much 5R, which is perfect. So upside, just shy of ADR. We've got a weekly high coming up at 125 ADR. So if we get there and TP and it does push up to there, just take the heat on that and we'll get into an aggressive short exit. Might just drop that down ever so slightly, just below that high. Downside, just about ADR. Just going to leave that where it is at the minute. DAX is pushing back up. So weekly limits won the day by the looks of things. So there's potential for that to rally high today. DAX upside. If you did get hedged on this, you might have got hedged on this today, depending where your offset is, because we did push above the pre-market high today. So I didn't get triggered on it because it didn't push far enough for me. But if you did get hedged on this today, upside wise, we're out at highs, aren't we? Yeah, we're out at highs. God, this is a tough one today, isn't it? Look. We're at a monthly high. We're at last month's high, and they're not letting that through. So if this goes long today, all you can do is look at ADR for signs of exhaustion. If it breaks short, we've got that propulsion gap to the downside, which is a good target. But tricky today. Not a lot of movement. Again, the DAX has been very, 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 very quiet, isn't it? It's all very quiet at the moment. Just learning here. Any idea why my SAH was hedged on the DAX and yours wasn't? Because your offset is closer than mine, probably, or the spread on your broker is wider. So my entry was there long. The candle got to there. If your entry was there, i.e., you've got a smaller offset, then you will have got triggered long. If your broker has a much wider spread than my broker, you would have got triggered long. You tell me. One or the other. My offset is 4 pips. But there's no right or wrong. It's whatever you fancy. Some days 4 pips is the best. Some days 2 pips is the best. Some days 10 pips will be better than 4 pips. Totally random. It's all random. So use whatever you're comfortable with. But I've noticed that we do wick out a bit. So I tend to go a little bit wider. Okay, DAX is rallying again. So we're at the pre-market high. We're out of yesterday's high. So we're long on the DAX, on their FTSE. Short gold, if you want to, Matt. Up to you. Which way is the US dollar going? Yeah, so at the moment, yeah, definitely short gold because US dollar's going long. So gold will be going down. Dixie up. Yeah, that's what I just said. All you're doing, if you're trading gold, all you're doing is you're trading a US dollar cross. So it's the same as pound US dollar, euro US dollar, CAD US dollar, US dollar CAD. So it's just a US dollar cross, isn't it, gold? So if US dollar goes up, gold goes down. If US dollar goes up, CAD goes down. US dollar goes up, pound goes down. So it's just the US dollar cross. So do the inverse to what the US dollar is doing. But obviously, if the Dixie's going up and the US dollar and the gold's going down, you've missed the trade, haven't you? So if I was you, I would wait until it goes down more and then go back in the other way. But that's because I'm a mean reversion trader. So if you're a trend trader, jump on board. Right, has anybody got any other pairs you want to look at? We've covered everything this morning that needs covering. Pound CAD and Euro CAD. So pound CAD, I have the long on. So the reverse alert's gone in on the pound CAD. There we go. So there's my entry. So target propulsion. So ADR to the upside, basically, as a target. And Euro CAD long as well. And again, targeting that one, I'm targeting the higher propulsion gap at 125 ADR. But when we get there into that propulsion, I will have a look at the portfolio and see what it's like. At the minute, I'm just very keen to take small amounts often because we're just getting so range bound on everything at the minute. So I just want to bank. As you can see, I'm banking 0.16s, 0.28s. Normally, I'd be going for 0.5% and things, but at the minute, it's just costing so much in swaps to hold because we are sitting for weeks without doing anything, and it's just racking up swaps. So I just want to get money banked, basically. It's costing a lot to trade at the minute. What's the plan on GJ and UJ? I'm out. I was out this morning. So out of the pound yen. No, I'm not out of all the pound yen, sorry. I'm out. Well, it depends which account you're looking at. So ADRs, I've just taken one off yesterday. Hedging, I wasn't in it. So pound yen, basically, so I closed that lowest position out completely. So obviously, you remember I had an aggressive drawdown control position entered there. That I've taken off. So I've used that position to close out almost half of that, and I've completely closed that. So basically, I've just reduced the risk down at the minute. Average is now within ADR. So the key to this one is going to be what happens when we hit this level. So when this propulsion gap fills, they're either going to buy again at this area, or the yen is going to start to overpower. The fact that we've sat here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 weeks. The fact that we sat there for 2 weeks after the propulsion move means, as I said, when the propulsion move happened, that's not right, because that was just wrong reaction to that news. The fact that we sat there for 2 weeks, I suspect what we will do is something like that, unless we get that yen news. So I still think it's a short. So I'm holding the rest of it. I can get out of the whole lot now and close the whole thing out and just go, had enough. But I've reduced the position size down to a manageable level now. It's just down to one lot. So I'm just going to hold it at the minute and just hope we get a second leg, because this is the first time, if you look, it's the first time we've broken it. So we hit the low. So we've been trying to break this propulsion gap here for 10 days. We hit it, they rebought. 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 Then we double bottomed. They bought again. They bought again. Triple bottomed, and we broke. So that is a significant break. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to hold. It's a significant break, but we're running straight into the original propulsion move from the banks where they bought it. So that secondary one there that they kept buying, obviously, is the first line of defense. This is the second line of defense. So this may well hold. If this doesn't hold, though, we're going to come back down into balance again, and then we're going to fall back down into that balance. So we're just going to basically come back down into this propulsion area down here. But it's going to take that yen to power up. So we have overnight had decent news on the yen. So unemployment dropped in Japan. Good news. Powers up the currency. Interest rates, inflation coming down to target on target at the rate they want it to. Good news for the currency. As soon as we get close to that interest rate, that inflation figure, that interest rate is going back up to 0. Good news for the currency. So there's nothing but good fundamental news on the horizon and happening. So there's a good chance that this will start to power up, but it's not very strong. So I'm still holding conviction that we are shorting everything against the yen. Same story for the US dollar yen with 10 days sideways. I've got 5 shorts on that at the moment. Look, average is within ADR. You know, the average has been within ADR for 2 weeks. It just hasn't given an ADR move, is it? So I'm holding it. I'm short. I can't say I don't fancy it short anymore. I am short. I haven't got a choice. I'm short. The plan is, if it pushes up, add to the position. If it goes down, take the position off. That's always the plan. There is no plan. We can't plan for something we don't know if it's going to happen, can we? So, do you use an offset distance of 4 pips on all indices? I don't know. FTSE's 1.5. No, I don't. It doesn't matter. Don't get caught up in offset. You tell me what the right one is. I don't know. The right offset to use every day is the one that doesn't get hit and hedges you. Unless you can see into the future, you don't know what that is. So just pick one. Doesn't matter. You'll realize after a while that there's nothing you can predict in this market. It's totally random, and every day there's a different open. So do what you like. I don't know what the right thing to do is. So today, the right thing was a 4 pip offset. Perfect. If you use a 3 pip offset, you're hedged. If you use this 5 pip offset, good for you. But yesterday, the right offset to use was 2 pips. The day before that, 7 pips. There is no right. If you start trying to, if you change it every day because that doesn't work, all you're going to do is you're going to change it every day. It's not going to help you in any way, shape, or form because every day is different. So just pick one. Just give the market time. The spread is going to be very. Look at my spread on the DAX. Absolutely tiny. So that's why I'm not in that trade, because my spread is nice and tight. FTSE spread is a little bit bigger. Yeah, the Dow is quite big a lot of the time as well. It is now because it's the Globex session. It's not the right session. But so just use an offset that is comfortable for you. So just be aware that they will quite often on this pre-market level, when the market opens, we know that they sold that level. We know that they bought that level. Yeah. So when we hit that again, there are going to be orders there. Depending on how violent and how strong the open is, it will either just go, screw you lot, and it will fly through it. Or it might just about get through it and then get pushed back down again. One of those things is going to happen. You can't predict the future. Unless you've got one of these, there isn't an indicator on the planet or a setting on the planet that's going to help you. Totally random, every day, different. Cannot predict. Are you still holding out for those targets on the remainder of pound yen? Yeah. So I've banked 2.2% on the pound yen now. And New Zealand dollar, US dollar is some of that as well. So, and the pound New Zealand, sorry, that's not right. So yeah, I've banked some. So I will make a decision. What I'm hoping for is either a pound or a yen news event that's going to give us an ADR. And if it's a yen news event, it's going to give us an ADR overnight, in which case I'm asleep and it's just going to hit my targets. If it's a pound one, I'm going to be watching it. The pound is on Thursday. So the monetary policy statement comes out on Thursday. That isn't going to change. However, that could. And if that changes and the monetary policy statement is particularly everything's going good within inflation, we're happy with the progress of everything, that pound's going to come down hard. So that's the first catalyst we've got that could potentially move the pound on Thursday. So I don't anticipate getting very far until Thursday, but that propulsion gap at the moment is now my new target, assuming that this propulsion isn't going to hold, because as I said, for 10 days we haven't. The bulls took control and then they went, actually no, it doesn't look like a good trade, don't want to be long on it. Yeah, so it's unlikely, I think, that they're really going to add in there, but it doesn't mean it's going up or down. It doesn't mean it's going down. It just means that they're probably not going to add a large move out of here. Don't know. But if they do, that's fine. I've just reduced the lot size by 50%. So I would just start scaling in as normal if we push up. Where does one buy on those? Where does one buy one of those globe things? Most of those weird shops that sell witchy stuff sell them. Tarot card shops, that sort of place. You can find them online. John Wick's got a particularly good one. He's very, very intensely staring in that, isn't he? Buy? Is it a sell? Who knows? Is it a buy? Is it a sell? We ever find out. He's an intense man. He is. You have to concentrate very hard when you're killing 100 people an hour. Tough job. Someone's got to do it. DAX initial propulsion move is holding out nicely. We are running in back into that propulsion as well. So see where we go, but not a lot of movement today. Right, that's all I've really got for you this morning. So nice day for banking today again. That's good. Another 2% banked. Another 1% bank there. Another 1% bank there. So very good month for the position trading accounts. Up 10K-ish. Unfortunately, I was up about 2.5K on the SIH and blew it yesterday. But never mind. John just kicks his computer, breaks the glass and makes his own. Probably. Yeah. Yes. He's probably got his own furnace at home where he can blow the glass into a globe, I'd imagine. John Wick, glass blower. Right. I'll leave it there. So DAX, obviously I'm short only on the DAX, so that's all guaranteed profit today. Hedge is 166 on the FTSE. So Hedge, I'm just going to see how it plays out and see if we get any movement today. There's no news catalyst today to drive anything until 3 o'clock this afternoon. What did that CPI come out for Spain? Year on year up, monthly down. Interesting. Mixed result there. Not that the Spanish one really makes any difference. It's the French and the German are the ones we're interested in. And speaking of the French and the German, that one comes out tomorrow. So we got the CPI for Germany tomorrow, which is the main driver for the euro. So that comes out at some point today when the states have all announced. So yeah, all kicks off tomorrow. But 3 o'clock this afternoon, we've got the first news today. So we might well just sit in rotation for the day, but we'll see where we go. I'm not expecting massive moves, as I say, ahead of FOMC tomorrow. So if I can get any more banked today, I will do. So certainly because we've got the Australian CPI figure tomorrow, that will affect a lot of the Asian market, and the yen obviously may well be affected by that. So stuff that I've got sitting in profit, if it's still there tomorrow or tonight before the close, I might well just bank these bits as well on the yen, and especially any Australian dollar or New Zealand. I've only got I haven't got any Aussie or New Zealand exposure on at all now because I've closed out the New Zealand today. So any Aussie exposure that is in profit, again, I'll be closing that out this evening before I go to bed, because obviously I won't be awake for the CPI figure because it happens overnight for me. So, so there we go. I will be back this afternoon. By the way, I'm still waiting for my $28. What $28 is that? Don't remember that, Brian? What's $28 for? I don't know how far you behind are in the stream. I sounded like Yoda then. I don't know behind how far you are in the stream. So I'm not sure how long the answer will be. That was a normal conversation. Yoda wouldn't have said that. Not sure how long to wait I am, is what he would have said. Green voice. Right, Brian's not answering me. So anyway, I'll find out this afternoon. Anyway, I'll go off stream and then it'll come up in the chat. But anyway, still waiting. Anyway, right, I'll be back this afternoon, 2:20 for the New York session. We'll trade, obviously, the US indices. I haven't got enough in my Robo Forex account to set up a new account yet. So I need to sort that out. What I might do this afternoon is just trade low risk on this account. Naz shorted me yesterday. Oh, right, okay. Naz shorted you $28. Okay. Don't remember that. Wasn't watching. So yeah, I might trade low risk in this account tomorrow, this afternoon. Just while I'm sorting out my finances and where I'm going to put stuff. I still haven't decided, so I need to actually do something. I've got so much to do. Anyway, I'll be back this afternoon, 2:20 for the New York session. Back tomorrow morning at 7:50 for Frankfurt. Anything you need, let me know. I'll be in Telegram. Thanks for subscribing, Danny. Welcome aboard. Anything you need, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good morning.